Today on Judge Faith, this best friend says he did his fair share.
He didn't charge me a set rent, but I paid bills over in the house, and I did all the cooking in the house. He never cooked anything. He didn't do any of the cleaning, and that was the deal.
But his former roommate thinks otherwise.
His excuse is, when I sell a house, I got you. I got you, I got you. He's been telling me that for 5 years. I got you covered, I got you covered. So, I mean, enough is enough is enough is enough is enough.
And Judge Faith sees through the stories.
Your first excuse for the promissory note is he was drunk. Your second excuse for getting paint on the jacket is he's bipolar.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Shimeon Young is suing his former best friend for $9,573, saying he owes for a loan as well as destroyed comic books and other belongings. Defendant Darren Gray says he doesn't owe anything and is countersuing for $95 for a new door lock.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this case is Young versus Gray.
Thank you, Barbara. Shimeon Young,
Yes, ma'am.
you are suing Darren Gray for $9,573.
Yes, ma'am.
For damaged comic books, an unpaid loan, and personal property damage.
Yes, ma'am.
And you are countersuing, sir, for $95. You say he owes you for an unpaid door lock.
That's correct.
How do you know Mr. Gray?
Well, we met about 7 years ago through a mutual friend. My mother had just passed away, and he was going through a similar situation where his mother was getting ready to be deceased. So we kind of connected. I'm an only child. His brother is not in his life, so it was just me and him against the world, so to speak.
How did he come to live with you?
After his mother passed away, his housing arrangement was in limbo because he didn't have a place to stay. So I was going to college at the time. He was a former teacher, and he would help me with my homework. He did my Spanish homework for me. He's very smart. You know, he's stupid in other areas, but he's very smart. And so he helped me with my homework, and we just became close. And he didn't have a place to stay. I felt bad for him, so I let him stay with me.
Okay, and why did you need a place to stay?
Well, because I was staying with people and it wasn't working out, and I wanted to get my own place. And I was working on getting an apartment. So in the interim, for a couple months, I wound up moving in with him.
Were you a professor somewhere? Were you teaching Spanish?
No, I never taught Spanish. I taught 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. It was years ago in Newark.
Okay, do you work now?
Right now, I'm out of work.
How long have you been out of work?
I would say about 5 years since I had a career-wise full-time job.
How do you support yourself now?
Well, right now I do odd jobs. I walk dogs, I train dogs, and I get paid, for doing that.
How much do you make walking dogs and doing odd jobs?
Anywhere between $200 to $500 a week. It depends on what it's like for that week. It just varies. It's not anything stable.
And where do you live right now?
In Brooklyn, a couple blocks from him.
Do you pay rent?
Yes.
How much do you pay?
The rent is $1,200.
How do you afford $1,200 a month in rent if you're only making a few $100s a week walking dogs and doing odd jobs?
Well, I have savings as well, and I'm dipping into that because sometimes I make enough for the month and sometimes I don't, and I have to go into the savings or whatever.
So he moves in with you, and how long ago was this?
This was in 2008.
And what was your relationship like when he moved in?
In the beginning, it was fine. I had someone to talk to. Like I said, I'm an only child. I didn't have brothers and sisters, so he was like my brother. He would help me cook. He would help me with laundry. And in Brooklyn, it's kind of dangerous, so I didn't feel too vulnerable because someone else was in my apartment with me. And it was fine until about the next year, I just noticed that he's a freeloader, Your Honor.
Well, was he paying rent?
No, I didn't charge him rent at all.
Okay.
I didn't want him to go to the shelter because they would have did something to him. If he would have tried all of the things that he'd done to me in the shelter, they would have hurt him. So I wanted him to stay with me.
What kind of things did he do to you?
Well, just lying, lazy, manipulative, these sort of behaviors.
Can you give me specific examples?
Oh, sure, Your Honor. I would try to wake him up every morning. He wouldn't get up. But as soon as I turn on the stove, something cooking, he pops right up. Or he doesn't get up, Darren, get up, Darren, get up, Darren, get up. But as soon as I light a cigarette, he pops right up.
Your Honor.
Every morning, that's how I have to get him up.
Was he working?
Was he working? No, he wasn't working.
Okay.
No, when I moved in with him, I wasn't working. But I had money on the side. He didn't charge me a set rent, but I paid bills over in the house, and I did all the cooking in the house. He never cooked anything. He didn't do any of the cleaning, and that was the deal. You come and help with the house, and you help bring the food, and you help with the bills. It was like the electricity bill, the cable bill, the phone bill, and I chipped in for all of that, and I just didn't pay rent because he paid the rent.
Okay, and how long did you live there under that arrangement?
Ooh, I'm not even sure. I would say
2 years, Your Honor.
It wasn't 2. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It wasn't even a year, Your Honor. We were both in recovery before moving into the apartment.
Recovery for what?
For drugs and alcohol, for him,
Okay.
alcohol. And he had a couple of relapses, not long. They would just last for like a day or two, whatever. But whenever he would relapse, everything would go crazy in the house. He would have people over, things would break, he would blame me for everything. And I had left. He had given me 3 weeks, so everything was fine. He met a girl and he said, I'm moving the girl in, you have to leave in 3 weeks. Moved me out, then said, don't worry, I'm not gonna let you go without anything. I'm gonna give you something.
You were in recovery during this entire time period?
Yes.
And if he was relapsing, as you say, and you're in recovery, don't you think it would be incumbent upon you to move if that's what was going on?
Well, I didn't have a place to go. I was trying to get a place. Didn't want to, jump into anything. I wanted to get a nice apartment. I wanted to have all the money saved up.
Well, you said but you said you had savings.
At the time, I didn't have savings.
Okay, so you're not working when you're living with him. How are you making money to pay all the bills and do all the cooking as you claim you were doing?
I had side jobs. I would do different things. It was in the same neighborhood. I didn't have my dog yet, but I was already walking dogs in the neighborhood, and I was getting money for that. And people were paying pretty good money to walk dogs.
No, it isn't, Your Honor. What he does is he works for cigarettes. That's what he does. He doesn't pay me. He doesn't pay me back anything. He tries to pay me in cigarettes.
Your Honor, he's lying. Your Honor, he's putting on a show. I don't know what he's doing.
I'll be the judge of whether or not he's lying.
Coming up on Judge Faith. When comic books are destroyed, so is the friendship.
I've been collecting comic books since I was 12. You know what I mean? And that's the only thing I like. I can relate to superheroes. I'm an only child. I live in a fantasy world sometimes. I can admit that. I went to work. I came back. My comics are shredded.
Plaintiff Shimeon Young says he constantly helped his former best friend, but now it's time to pay up. He's suing for loans and destroyed comic books. Defendant Darren Gray says he doesn't owe his friend anything.
You say that he owes you for comic books and an unpaid loan and several household items.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's start with the unpaid loan.
The unpaid loan. In New York, we had a catastrophe, Superstorm Sandy, right, and he had to go down south because his godchildren were in trouble. He had to relocate them, and he was crying, hysterical, because he didn't have anywhere to get these 2 boys out down to Delaware. And so I was shoveling, if you remember, 3 years ago, the city of New York was covered in a blanket of snow, and I was on the sanitation relief. I made a whole slew of money, and I saved it because I'm trying to get a vehicle. I had $3,000 that I saved up. I wound up giving him enough money for him to go down south with his boys in his hectic situation, whatever it was. And as thirsty as it is, he signed a promissory note saying that he would pay me back.
Okay, let me see the promissory note. Did you sign the promissory note?
I did. He was drunk when I signed it. He was drunk, but he's telling the story all wrong.
He was drunk when you signed the promissory note. So why is that relevant?
Because he was flipping out. I had just signed it to get him out of my family. I did borrow the money from him, but he's telling the story wrong.
Wait, so he was.
Wait,
hold on a second. Hold on a second. So he was drunk. Hold on a second.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're saying he was drunk when he wrote out this promissory note,
I didn't take it seriously.
He wasn't too. You didn't take it, but you took the money seriously when he gave it to you, didn't you?
Absolutely. Yes, but it wasn't for what he's saying. The money was for his.
This is your signature on this, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, you signed it, right?
Yes, I did. But he's not telling me.
Did you pay back $2,700? Did you pay him back $2,700?
No, I didn't. No, I
okay,
didn't.
and what's your defense for not paying him back?
Because we had started fighting, and I started reconsidering everything.
I don't care if you started fighting. I don't care if you like him or not.
Yes, ma'am.
That's not the basis for you paying him back. It doesn't say, if I like you, I will pay you back this money.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
So you also state in your complaint that he destroyed a jacket that you own.
Yes, I lent him a jacket because he had a court case or something he had to go to, and I got a bubble It was a bubble Calvin Klein, a leather and goose on the inside, bubble, with the price tag on it still, because that's how we walk our clothes in New York, so everybody can see how much we paid. I let him wear my brand new jacket. I didn't even wear it yet. He comes back with paint all over the sleeve, like he leaned up against something. And I said, yo, what's up with my jacket? His response was, color it with a marker.
This isn't true what's going on. It had gotten real cold. I was going to get a jacket. He pulled out this bubble jacket, because it wasn't court. I had to go downtown for something. I wasn't in court. He had said, you can have this jacket. It wasn't a Sean John or whatever he said.
Your Honor.
It was a denuntinant name, you know, just a no name. And it was a bubble. It was warmer than what I had.
But it was his jacket.
He gave it to me. He said, you can have this. And when I came home, he said, what happened to the jacket? I told him on the subway. I leaned on the thing. I saw the sign on the floor. Someone had pulled the rope down. I had asked him for a black marker. I said, because I'm still going to wear this for a couple of days. I wanted to see if I can at least, so I don't have to wear one with the green. I was going to put the black on it. But it wasn't to give it. I didn't tell him, here, fix your jacket. He gave me that jacket. He said, I won't wear this.
So
he said, I only wear names. I only wear name brands. I don't want this. This is a piece of junk. You can have it. I said, yeah, it's going to keep me warm. I had a wool jacket, but the temperature had dropped.
When you come back with the paint on the bubble jacket.
Thinking it's my jacket now because he gave it to me.
What was his response to seeing the paint on the bubble jacket?
I just gave it, one day you had the jacket, look what you did already. I said, I didn't see the paint on it.
So would he be that upset if it was a gift to you?
Thank you.
Yes, he's bipolar. He flips at everything.
Your first excuse for the promissory note is he was drunk. Your second excuse for getting paint on the jacket is he's bipolar. Let's go to the next issue, the comic books.
My comic book, Your Honor, I have 7,000. I've been collecting comic books since I was 12. You know what I mean? And that's the only thing I like. I can relate to superheroes. I'm an only child. I live in a fantasy world sometimes. I can admit that. And my releases come. I'm an avid collector. I go to the conventions. I met Stan Lee 4 times. He knows this. So when the Guardians of the Galaxy movie came out, I had a stack of the Guardians of the Galaxy comic books because I was going to take pictures and put them on eBay. I don't know how to do all of that stuff. I asked him. I put the stack out. He knows he knows how I am about my comic books. So I put all of the Guardian Galaxies from 1 to 30, and I have here the first appearance of Rocket Raccoon, which is a valuable comic. I wanted him to take pictures of them and put them on eBay for me.
You were going to sell them on eBay?
Yes.
Okay.
I went to work. I came back. My comics are shredded, destroyed.
How?
He's mangy mutt that he has.
Okay, well, hold on a second. How long was the dog? This was his dog that he had, right?
Yes.
The entire time that he lived there, he had a dog?
No, Your Honor.
After I got my own place,
Let me explain real fast. He has his own place now. He got a dog for the same reason. We live in a rough neighborhood, so he figured a pit bull will kind of hold him down for intruders, burglars. But this pit bull the pit bull is bipolar. So
Your Honor,
he can't have dogs in his building. So when the inspectors come to his building, he has to rush the dog away and hide him. So I agreed that I would let him put the dog in my backyard. I instructed him, keep the dog in the backyard. He brought the dog inside anyway, and that's when the damages get destroyed.
But have you had issues with the dog on an ongoing basis?
I've had issues, yes I have, Your Honor.
Okay, tell me about before the comic books, what issues you had with his dog?
His dog peed all over my bed and all over my couch.
Okay, but you still, when the inspectors come, you still say it's okay for him to bring his dog over?
To put the dog in the backyard. I have a backyard in my building. He could chain the dog up outside. I hate dogs, Your Honor.
What proof do you have that his dog destroyed almost $3,000 worth of comic books?
Well,
I'm not going to speculate.
I have the pictures of the shredded comic books.
Tell me about the incident with the comic books.
He knew I was coming over with the dog. He knew she was in the chewing stage. He used to give her a cane and say chew. I never put the dog in his backyard because it's not a house, it's a building. Something spilled onto the comics, and he saw that my dog spilled something knocked something over onto the comics. Just water. And so they had gotten wet. They weren't ruined yet. He left them there. He went to show me something on the computer. We went into the other room. We came out.
That's not true.
She did the stuff that you saw. She ripped all the stuff up.
That's not true.
Okay.
It is true.
And we have photos of those comics?
Shredded.
And she knew she was in a chewing stage.
Okay.
She was still younger then when she did that.
Your Honor, the bottom line is I gave him permission to bring his dog over, but I said you have to leave the dog in the back.
The dog was never
I come back, the dog is in the house.
All right, I've heard enough. I've heard enough about the dog.
Next on Judge Faith, consequences of browsing sexy sites.
I go to Seattle because one of my classmates, we went to a reunion. I come back, and what's on my computer? All these porn sites, everything. And he shut it down, got virused out, I had to get a new computer.
Plaintiff Shimeon Young says his former best friend owes for a loan and damaging his property. Defendant Darren Gray says he's not responsible for the damage.
What's your counterclaim for $95 for door locks?
We were best friends, Your Honor. We always helped each other out. 3 times he had to have his locks changed.
Why have you had to have your locks changed 3 times?
I'll tell you. He's going to tell you
bad relationships.
Bad relationships?
Yes.
Oh, it must be really bad if you're changing your locks 3 times.
Yeah. One girl kicked the computer, broke his computer. I bought him the new computer.
No, you didn't.
He paid me back. Yes, I did. I bought you the computer.
He's a lie.
I'm not,
So why are you charging him for $95 for door locks?
Because the last time he never paid me back for the lock.
You're living with someone for free.
Mm-hmm.
No one lives with anyone for free. So as far as I'm concerned, you got over, okay? And now you're countersuing him for $95 for locks?
Because we resolved all these issues, and now he's suing me.
Well,
so
no,
I
it's
put
not
it up.
resolved because I have a promissory note here. You said you never paid it.
And with my computer, Your Honor, I left. When I first moved in, I didn't have that much money. I said, Darren, I don't have Virus Guard, so please Facebook only. I go to Seattle because one of my classmates, we went to a reunion. I come back, and what's on my computer? All of these porn sites,
Not true.
Everything. And he shut it down, got virused out, I had to get a new computer. And one day,
not true.
and then
Not
his
true.
friend that he let in scratched up my floors. I don't know what they were doing in my bedroom. Scratched up the floors, everything was in disarray. I'm also suing for the damages. He burned my floor with a cigarette. When he was living, there was numerous damages.
It's not
He
true.
burned my couch with a
the
cigarette.
truth.
He burned the floor with a cigarette. There's more than 9,000. Over 7 years, this guy's had a multitude of damages. You could ask him.
Let me ask you a question.
Not true. I don't
Stop,
want
just
orange.
stop. Why are you bringing this lawsuit now, years later, for things that happened back in 2009, 2010? I mean, you're suing for a course of events that have happened over the years. Why are you doing this now?
The final straw was when I lent him the $2,200. I was expecting to get it. He made it seem, he has a house in Jersey, okay, that has a lot of repairs being done to it before it could be on the market. He made it seem to me like, shimmy on, when I sell my house this year, I'm gonna pay you back. That's always been his excuse. He just lied to you when you said, what's the excuse for not paying the money? His excuse is, when I sell a house, I got you. I got you, I got you. He's been telling me that for 5 years. I got you covered, I got you covered. So, I mean, enough is enough, is enough, is enough, is enough. I'm still waiting for my money, and he keeps telling me, I got you covered. He's still adding the bill. Every time he needs a pack of cigarette, put it on my bill, put it on my bill, put it on my bill. And I'm still waiting for this house, this imaginary house to be sold. So that's why enough is enough. I'm angry. I want to fight this dude.
Well, no, you don't want to fight him. I don't want you to catch a case behind this. It's not worth it. Now, Mr. Gray, what happened with the computer?
There was another friend of ours, another mutual friend. I had asked him if he can let the friend stay there, because this was going back when he had.
And I said no.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't say no. The guy messed up his computer. The guy burnt his couch, and I don't know anything about this.
So it was a friend of yours who came in.
A mutual friend. It was my friend. I asked him. He didn't want the kid to come in because
Thank you. I didn't want him to come in.
I asked him to please let him in. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna make sure he's not gonna do any damages. I wasn't there. I was gone for the weekend when the guy came.
What kind of computer was it?
Dell.
What kind of computer?
It was a Dell computer.
What year?
It was 2009.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
Let's address your counterclaim first for $95. That's dismissed. Now let's get to your claim. You have a promissory note, a written note, and you admit to signing it, and I find your defense in not paying him back to be ridiculous and unacceptable. You owe him $2,200. In addition, I'm going to order you to pay him for the computer because you allowed someone else to come in and damage his computer. And so I'm going to order you to pay him $300. As far as the comic books, I think you allowed that dog to be inside of your apartment on more than one occasion, and I think that you left the comic books out, and you shouldn't have. If they're that valuable to you, and they mean that much to you, and you know that a dog is going to be in the vicinity of those comic books, then you don't leave them out. And in addition, sir, you really can't prove value to me. You gave me one example, and that's not sufficient proof. I'm not going to order him to pay you almost $3,000 for comic books. Based on all the evidence I've heard, I'm going to order you to pay the plaintiff $2,500. $2,200 for the loan and $300 for the Dell desktop. That's my judgment. Good luck.
If you or someone you know has a dispute, don't take the law into your own hands. Let Judge Faith rule on it for you. To submit your case, go to judgefaith.com and tell us your story. See you in court.
Your head on it.